Hey guys, this is John Box. Welcome to MST.TV, and I guess this is probably going to be the only deck I'm going to be covering in the recent Remote Duel Invitational Qualifier. And with me here today, we have Yishan McNabb.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
First of all, congratulations to you on giving Gren Maju some hope, because... well, not just Gren Maju, I would say you're giving rogue players a lot of hope because you top 8, making your second back-to-back invite into the Invitational. Like, how do you feel, man?
You know, I feel pretty good. It definitely wasn't as, if not, it's my second one, so it's not as crazy as the first one. And this one was definitely, easier because there were less players than the last qualifier. Last qualifier, there was, 8 pools, and you had to get top 2, which is
that's so
crazy.
Hard. This one was a little bit easier. That last one was you have to go undefeated all the way through, and then at the last round you still might not make it depending on tiebreak if you lose.
It was definitely easier, which probably helped. But it was still a lot of fun. I didn't expect to top 8. I wasn't going in with the expectation to top 8. But a little bit of luck, a little bit of rounds later, here I am, back again.
You're going to have a really nice invitational package coming your way, I'm pretty sure. You're pretty excited about that. But aside from that, what deck did you play since we didn't intro it already?
Yeah, I played Gren Maju, which, was my original deck where I topped YCS Portland with.
Yeah.
And I wanted to dust it off. New format, let's dust off my best friend, let's see what he's got.
If you guys want to skip ahead to the deck profile, you can, but there is an instruction here that you guys have to go and check out Yishan's channel and hit the subscribe button, ding his notification bell before you do that. And the time code is right here. There you go. But if for those of you guys want to stick around of why he actually chose not to play Bird Up and his perspective of how to tackle this current format with this rogue deck as a rogue player, we'll stick around and we'll get to it, and we'll even do his round to round fairly quickly very soon. But first of all, I got a couple of questions here. Why did you not choose to Bird Up, or why did you, sorry, let me use the correct term here, why did you choose not to play Kit Kat?
Kit Kat. Well, yeah, I guess what Tom Box is referring to with the names is I think MVT coined the name Bird Up, but now that a lot of people are playing Rescue Cat along with Kit in their Tri Brigade decks, some people have liked to call it Kit Kat. So there's a little bit of a naming war here, although my guess is that MVT will probably his name will reign supreme.
We're gonna change it to Kit Kat. Bird Up, come on guys. Bird Up, you want to eat some chicken or you want a Kit Kat? You want to make your opponent take a break? I don't know.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm not as memey as MVT, but okay. So
yeah, I know.
Bird
it's hard to beat him. It's hard to beat Joseph.
Joseph
okay, so yeah, why not Bird Up?
Yeah.
Well, Bird Up is probably a better deck than Gren Maju, but I went in expecting people to actually be prepared for Bird Up somewhat, because it actually is,
it's meta. It is meta.
Close to tier 1. It's meta now. It's not rogue anymore. And so that was the first reason, which was I think some people were going to have answers for Bird Up, and also people would be expecting me to play Bird Up. So I had these two factors that gave me a slight edge when it came to playing Gren Maju. Because the thing is, when I used to play Gren Maju and people expected me to play Gren Maju, it's rough. Because you'll roll some dice, your opponent will be like, oh, you can go first, Yishan. I'm like, oh, gee, thank you. I'm not prepared to side deck yet. I'm not prepared to go first. So I literally just draw pass. But this time I always went second because people expected me to play Bird Up. And
good call though.
They made boards that would be very good against Bird Up. I don't know if they were really thinking that far, but it was just a slight edge. And I wanted to play Gren Maju, so I was like, all right, let's do it. This is as good time as ever to give this deck a shot.
Okay. I swear you were going to say I want to win the cool way, and I'm sorry, but Bird Up is just not cool enough anymore because everyone's doing it.
It's already not rogue anymore, so you got to switch over back to Gren Maju. I guess maybe there's some
coolness. It's peaked.
That's
in
true.
Coolness.
Although there's still a lot of people that want to see Bird Up, so yeah.
Yeah, but there was Bird Up though. There still was Bird Up.
There was.
Okay, so that's more of Kyle's thing now. Next, okay, with VFD gone, what are your perspective? Is this deck possible because VFD is gone?
Yes. Thank the Lord. So the problem with Gren Maju beforehand.
Yeah.
Was that if you were against Virtual World, it's still better for them to go first. That's the sad truth of the fact. Is like if you're a Gren Maju deck that wants to go second, but you can't even convince the best deck in the format that they want to go second against you, then you know you're in a bad spot. Because like it's actually advantageous for Virtual World to still go first in the Gren Maju matchup. Once they know you're playing Gren Maju, they're just gonna fire the VFD off standby phase, and there's really nothing you can do about it, or you just pray you draw Dimension Shifter, I guess. But that's not the greatest plan to pray for. And so yeah, VFD's gone really helps. I had 6 rounds where I actually played Yu-Gi-Oh with my opponents. So it was fun. It was a really fun event, actually.
I agree. I guess actually having exchanges rather than getting your whole turn skipped is a very big factor. I think the inability to attack is the biggest problem in this VFD. And you're one punch man deck. You've got Saitama here, basically in a different city once you're VFD'd. It really sucks.
Yeah, okay. It does.
Okay, so we're probably going to see a lot more Gren Maju coming back since you joined up on this. And there's actually a card that I want to kind of ask you about here, which is going to be this might be even a banlist contender, Super Poly. It is rampant everywhere.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do with because Shadol is popular, and it's very good in the Shadol deck because you can fuse with anything. So that is pretty annoying.
It is.
But I think, Super Poly, like, this is one of the few decks that plays. I mean, I did see a lot of people siding Super Poly, or I know at least a lot of people have been trying to side Super Poly because it's pretty good against Dragon Link, has a lot of applications. I understand why people think it might be or should be banned. I'm biased toward the card, so I'm probably not the best person to ask.
I wouldn't say ban. I would say just limit the card. It is good.
If it's limited, though, it actually loses quite a bit of value because, like, in a deck like this, you're spending like 6 extra slots to play Super Poly.
It's true.
And if you're not gonna play 3, you really shouldn't be wasting your extra slots then. So, because you actually you could use them for other things, and so.
We'll agree to disagree, man. Semi-limit.
That's where it used to be. It's crazy for a while.
I know. Now it's at 3.
Did that. Yeah.
But okay, well, I kind of want to add, a lot of people are playing Super Poly. Even among Dragon Link players, they are siding in Super Poly.
Right.
They might actually switch in 1 or 2 targets in their extra deck to fit the particular card in there. It's just a pretty common practice from what I've seen over the Invitational Qualifier. Definitely making a splash, whether it probably becoming one of the best side deck cards in the current format. Okay, well, that's pretty much all the questions I have. Let's go to your round to round. So for your round to round, we have 6 rounds of Swiss, and then there was a top cut. But just spoiler alert, top cut, you just gave away the win.
Yeah, the problem with so right, like I said, top 8, you just qualified, and then basically the only difference between prizing is if you get first or not first.
The switch.
Yeah, it's a switch. But some of my relatives were in town this weekend, and so I was like, okay, I better go spend some time with them. I already got everything that I wanted, so
Okay.
I was like, you know what, man, you just take, just have the win. Nothing nothing. It's not like a noble thing. It's just something I want. There's not much to say about it.
You just wanted time for yourself. That's what it was.
Right, exactly. It's nothing crazy.
So round 1, you played against Kit Kat, and you lost, and that was against your friend.
Yeah, I lost against Colby, who actually also made top 8 with Kit Kat.
Man, I want to be your friend. Because it seems like you always bring a friend with you, and both of you always talk.
Well, he definitely hopped onto the Kit Kat train, and it was a swift 0-2 defeat.
What was the biggest problem in that matchup?
Well, so the problem with the bird up matchup is you sort of just compare hands, and if I don't draw the outs to your stuff, then you're gonna win. If I do draw the outs, then I'm gonna win. So for example, first game he full comboed. he also knew I wasn't playing any hand traps because I told him to go second. I told him I was going second. He's like, "Oh, you're playing Gren Maju today." I was like, "Oh, great." Because he knows me, right? So he's like, "Oh, you're playing Gren Maju today." He doesn't worry about hand traps. He just full combo straight, no fear. I have a super poly target for the full combo.
Yeah.
Which we'll get to, but I didn't draw super poly, so that's like how that matchup goes. Like, oh, did you draw super poly, Yishan? You didn't. Sucks for you. And then
what would
game
you super
2. What'd you say?
What would you super poly for?
You super poly. You super poly for the World Chalice Guard Dragon Almaduke.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah, 3 link monsters, and it's a wind.
Oh.
Lucky me, it's a win, so I can just do it right under the barrier statue, take all their monsters. That's why I included this. Actually, you can also use this against Dragon Link, which I probably should have done a few times if I was playing optimally.
When they get their like LP Pisty and whatever combo.
And Seal. Yeah, because it gets rid of Seal too, which is key, because Seal's like super annoying.
It is.
Such a good card. Shout outs to Christopher for reminding me of that. He was like, "Oh yeah, you can do that on Dragon Link as well all the time." So. So I lost that, and then game 2, I put in my D shifters, but didn't draw my D shifter super poly or Wind Kaiju, so that was a swift 0-2 defeat. So I was like, oh well, Gren Maju was fun. I'm just gonna have fun at this event. Probably not gonna top 8. Lost round 1, but
here we are.
Went on to Shadol round 2. Really, I enjoy playing against Shadol. It's always a close game. Like the deck's pretty back and forth, very interactive. Unless they just schism you forever, but as long as you can stop the schisming forever, you usually get a pretty interactive game. And then round 3, my opponent, he didn't have a very good hand game 1, and then game 2, I de-shifted him when he activated a fusion spell. That's basically just GG. I mean, you really can't do anything about that if you're a Shadol player. Round 4, I played against Phantom Knights, and he made a really good board, but those boards are very susceptible to super poly. A lot of dark monsters out there. So I was just able to super poly OTK, nice. And then he made me go first, and then I just drew There Can Be Only One, and that wrapped up that one because can't really play through There Can Be Only One. I actually got a game 1 loss in that round because I showed up late because I was too sucked into the Attack on Titan episode I was watching. I didn't realize the round had started. So I was really not playing optimally this tournament. Round 5 actually was against Isala, and honestly I was gonna lose this game. I lost game 1.
It ended in a draw.
Yeah. So well, actually, I still don't know the answer to this ruling question. I need to figure out what the right answer is. Anyway, there was a ruling question, and it took a while for them to figure it out because I appealed, and then they didn't really give me a reason for why I was incorrect. They just told me, send a message to the head judge, and we'll get back to you, sort of thing. I was like, okay, that's a little weird, but whatever. Anyway, so the appeal,
I want to know what this ruling is. Tell me after.
Yeah, I'll tell you after. So anyway, Sala was, and I kind of agree with him. I mean, I don't know for sure, but he was like, do we really only get a 10-minute extension? Because like, it definitely felt like it took longer than 10 minutes. Like, again, I wasn't timing it, but I would have to agree with him there that it probably felt like it was longer than 10 minutes. But anyway, we got a 10-minute extension, and basically it was in game 2, and I was losing again, basically. But we were close to time. So what you do when you're like close to time and you just want one turn, and then that you want that to be it, is you just give your opponent, like, you just say yes to everything basically, and you give them a bunch of cards. And like, it's hard for players to make suboptimal plays to try to play faster. Like, it's really tough for like players to be like, okay, I know this is not optimal, but I would like an extra few turns in this game, so I'm just gonna skip all this optimal play and just attack and then move on to the next turn,
Okay, wow, that is very different from what I was expecting to hear.
Yeah.
This is not some jokingly
you sort of play suboptimally. Yeah, you try to give your opponent a bunch of cards and let them combo. It's not like an exact science, but it's definitely something like, okay, so I snuck out of the game with that one with a tie, because if I lost I would have definitely been out. It's all, he's doing all right though. He made top 8 as well, so I think he's doing all right. And then round 6 I played against Dragon Link, and I was able to win that one 2-0. This is where like the bird up helps when people think you're playing bird up, because he was playing around hand traps, so he made a safer board, and actually I was able to OTK because he made a safer board. And then the second game, I had D-Shifter, and he didn't have Chaos Space. Actually, I should talk about D-Shifter and Chaos Space real quick. The problem with Giant Link is if you don't activate D-Shift in the standby phase and they have Chaos Space, they can get like a ton of advantage. So it's like, do you want to play around Gamma or not? And I think maybe actually it's correct. I think if you look at your hand and you see that it can OTK, you should just fire off the D-Shifter in the standby phase. Try to stop them from making Seal easily with Chaos Space. If you don't see a good way to OTK, like I still don't know what the right play is. Maybe you just D-Shift in standby phase. But anyway, because the problem is if you D-Shifter after the Chaos Space, like they still get a ton of advantage. Like they don't lose cards really, and so like you have to OTK still, and if you don't, you're in trouble. So
okay.
Anyway, there's that, and then so yeah, that was the last round. Made it in.
All right, that's an awesome line of Swiss rounds. Okay, but first let's do some shoutouts before we get into the deck profile. Who you got shoutouts for?
Yeah, I mean, I guess my UCI friends who played in the tournament with us. We got Kyle, who's a very well-known Leerless Tri-Brigade player. Unfortunately, he didn't make top 8. Bailey also didn't quite make top 8, but Colby did, so not bad.
The Bird Gang, the Kit Kat Gang.
The Bird Gang. 3 entered, 1 came out. That's not so bad. That's not so bad. So yeah.
All right. Let's take a look at your deck. Boom, the list. We have triple Bigfoot, triple Thunderbird. What are those? Luna.
Fairy Tale Luna. Yeah, so this is a card I had experimented with a long time ago. Actually, it was my first day 2 of a YCS. I was playing this Gren Maju deck with Fairy Tale Luna and Kaijus in it. So this concept has been around for quite some time. Basically, she adds an extra normal summon to your deck.
Yes.
So if you don't have Gren Maju, you can just normal summon her. Or if Gren Maju is not going to kill anybody, you can normal summon her. She has this great quick effect, which gives you some defense as well, and she can bounce Kaiju. So you can target a face-up monster, and your opponent can negate the effect by sending a monster with the same name from your deck or extra to the graveyard that you targeted, or they both get returned to the hand. So you bounce, right? So like the combo is you Kaiju your opponent, normal summon Luna, effect search another Luna. By the way, this card can search herself, which is kind of insane. And then you bounce the Kaiju back. So like if you draw 2 Kaijus, it's no problem. You Kaiju your opponent, normal summon Luna, search, special summon a free level 8 Kaiju, bounce your Kaiju back. So now their board is empty after you just Kaiju their thing. Summon another level 8, boom, OTK. So really, really good card. It keeps you grinding, keeps your hand count high, so your dangers will summon themselves because like she adds herself and then bounces it back. So she's like keeping your hand count really high, making those dangers more likely to hit. So I really like her in the Kaiju focused style of the deck. Really, really fun card to play with. Okay, and then we have Triple Alpha. This is the newest addition to your deck because you didn't play. Well, you didn't play this card. Yes, you're technically. Well, I didn't. I played this card. Well, I played this card since it came out because it's so good in Gren Maju. I will say, technically, it's not the newest addition to the deck. There's a fusion monster in the extra deck that's slightly newer. Okay, but just for the sake of things, yes, it is the newest addition. It's just so good with the Kaijus. I mean, you Kaiju your opponent, special this, bounce it back, special it again. Because the great thing is you can special it multiple times in the same turn, which is absolutely bonkers. And if you draw this card in Kaiju, your game's going to be good. You're going to have a good game. Okay. And then we got all the level 8, well, except for Doggoran. You got the Wind Kaiju. One Kaiju to take care of the barrier statues, because it's the only one that can really do it. And the weakest Kaiju, Gamma Steel, that you sometimes, actually with Alpha, sometimes you actually give this to yourself. Yes. Oh, that does happen quite a bit. So yeah, sometimes you give it to yourself, like Alpha Slumber. You give yourself the Gamma Seal and give them the Gadara so you can special the Alpha. Yeah. That happens quite a bit. But it's just the weakest Kaiju, so like stuff can attack over it. The problem with Doggoran is literally nothing in your deck can beat over it, except for like Gren and Eater, which is a problem. Yeah, it's too big. It's too big. So, and the Wind one is just better right now for the Wind statue. Yeah, okay. My spoon is too big. I don't know if you've seen that cartoon before. Okay, next we have triple Gizmek Orochi. You pulled it out of the archetype because now it's an archetype now. Well, it was always it actually does say Gren Maju Orochi. It's no, it's the best card of the deck. That's really all I have to say about this card. Best card of the deck. It is your hand trap. Yeah.
People hate it when I say
It's your beater,
that.
it's your hand trap, it's your OTK, it's your removal, it's your grind game. It just does everything
Yeah.
that this deck wants.
People really hate it when I call it a hand trap, but I'm like, dude, it activates in the hand. It's a hand trap. Like, it activates in your hand during your opponent's turn. It's a hand trap. Then we have 2 Eater of Millions, really good card, non-targeting removal. Your deck just eats Dragoons. Like, I can see it.
Yes.
If you hate, if you hate Dragoons, pick up this deck. You'll just chew through it, no problem. Easy
not much of a worry.
1 Pancratops, of course. We got 1 Punch Man, and then we got the Pancratops. These are really good going second cards, and then we have Triple Slumber. Is this? I didn't really see you play Slumber before.
Yeah, well, when I previously played this deck, Slumber was limited. Like the last time I played at a big event. This time it's a 3. The thing is, this card is like pretty good. It's not great. But
they have to
the
negate
blowout
it.
potential is so high. Yeah, they have to negate it. And the blowout potential is pretty high. Although, like, not every deck has to negate it. Like the Shadows will be like, "Oh, thank you for sending my Wendy to the graveyard. I'll just special summon a beast now." You know, like So it can be like weird in some matchups, but sometimes it's just a blowout, and it also summons a level 8, which I like, to your field. So it's like a board wipe. The problem sometimes with this card though is like if you draw it off a danger, like you're dangering, digging for stuff, and then you've got like 2 monsters on the field. You top deck Kaidu Slumber. You're like, that's fantastic. Okay.
Activate Slumber anyway. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. That's like okay.
Then you play the best pot of Desires.
The best pot of Desires.
For this deck for sure.
Yep,
then we
really
have
broken.
Triple Super Poly. That is this wasn't part of the build because it was not possible previously. And
yeah, so I've always said if Super Poly is good, then Gren Maju has a chance. Because it's a really good Super Poly deck. The fact that a lot of the most common targets it summons are level 8 is really, really helpful for OTKing. And right now in the meta, you can Super Poly almost every deck. Stoles, you can Super Poly. Invoked, you can Super Poly. Even Eldritch, you can Super Poly as long as you're playing a target. Dragon Link, you can Super Poly. Like I said, even the Bird Up, you can Super Poly. So it's just, I mean, you can just use it everywhere.
Yeah. Same attribute, different types. Mud Dragon covers a lot of ground. We'll get back to that in a bit. We have Triple Trade In, and yeah, that's your draw engine. It's one of the best draw engine for the entire deck because it's Pot of Greed. It's just Pot of Greed, really.
It's pretty much really good. Actually, quick tip though, if you're here for tips, and you're all actually listening to me, side out this in Monster Reborn when you bring in your Dimension Shifters, and the reason for that is Trade-In is not a good card when you have Dimension Shifter in your deck. Because okay, let's take some things, right? So if you open D Shifter, that's great. But if you open Trade-In doesn't help you draw in a D-Shifter. So like if you're drawing through your deck, turboing through your deck, you don't want to turbo into cards that are literally dead, right? So you might as well, because you're not going to want to activate Trade-In if you don't have D-Shifter in your opening hand. You're going to want to like hope and wait a little bit, right? So just side out Trade-Ins. And the Reborn is just really bad with D-Shifter. Like they just did a Nombo. So when you're looking to sign a D-Shifter, those are the first cards I'm looking to take out. But so quick tip for you Gren Maju players.
You are giving us siding tips. No one ever gives their secret sauce. Siding tip is like the secret sauce here. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Wow. Putting money in your pocket, guys. Okay, so we got next we go into the extra deck. We'll go into the side in a bit. But extra deck. Okay. This is what you would say your newest addition to the deck is. This card's amazing.
Yeah. Card is very good. So there's either this card, it's either the Eldritch Mad Golden Lord, which basically is the same as Draco Nether Soul, which is like a level 8 fusion that takes 2 zombies, which is a slightly more generic. However, they're basically the same because the zombies you're seeing are all Eldritch. The thing about this card, and I realized, was that it just has 3,800 attack, and its effect is better. And the problem with Draco Nether Soul is even though it's level 8, you're almost never summoning it in the main phase because your opponent's going to wait till you attack before they go Eldritch Trap Pop.
They can't pop this.
Yeah, they can't pop this, and also it just has so much attack. And like the thing is, Eldritch players are paying 800 on their first turn, a significant portion. That puts them at 72, right? And if you can get like a few monsters out, like a Gizmek and a Luna, for example, that's only like 4,000 something, right? And then so like like even like just like 2 weak monsters will get you there. Like an Eater with a Luna sometimes with this will get you there if they pay 800 because they're gonna probably pop your strongest monster, and then you just get them with this. So like I just like how it it has a higher chance of just ending the game on the spot when you super poly for it. So that's why I chose it over the.
It is really, really good. Like, cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. That's gonna prove to be very troublesome for a lot of people. And if there was like another threat on the board, I'm guessing you can just tribute this card, right? You can tribute.
Yeah, if you really want to.
Then you can take one of your opponent's face-up monster, and then you keep it.
If you really want to.
But it cannot. Yeah, just take control of it, but it cannot attack or activate the attack effect this turn. So no, you permanently steal it too. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a permanent steal. It's okay, but I don't use it too much.
I guess the stat line is good enough. I mean,
stat line is so strong.
It's close to a blue eye. It's close to like a 4K, like an obelisk that can't be killed by card effects or by battle, which is pretty good. Then with Mud Dragon, probably the most generic one to super poly into for mono attribute. The dark attribute, or no, so it's not dark attribute. This is fusion and dark. This is to take care of.
Important against Shadows. Because they just have random invoked randomly.
Yeah. You can even you can take care of Dragoon with this too.
Dragoon, yep.
Yeah. You have 2 targets.
Lots of things.
Just the dark guy, the wind guy, or triple link guy. This one's kind of interesting. Invoke Elysium. I did not.
I was expecting a lot of invoked.
There was.
I just didn't play against any. I think my super poly targets were actually chosen pretty well for this event. I think all of them could have been relevant. And I guess Tom, you were telling me earlier that a lot of the virtual world players are ending on Kaliga plus something else. So this would be perfect against those boards. Oh, you got Kaliga and you got your nice Crystal Wing. Okay,
it is exactly those two. Wow, that's a really, really good demo. This is a great counter to that because the Kaliga has been stunning out a lot of players. What does it do? What does it even do? I'm gonna read it right now. Like
it's like banish. Yeah.
While it's face up on the field, this card is also all the attributes all at once. Wow! Time to play Furin Kazan to draw 2 cards. I don't know. Target 1 invoke monster you control in your graveyard, banish it, and all your opponent's monsters become that same attribute. Okay, it doesn't really do very much, but
you can banish itself and banish all monsters your opponent controls that are face up, basically.
Ooh.
So that's nice.
That is fun.
It does come up.
Okay. Best rank 8 line, of course, we have Ding. But the most offensive and defensive guy, we have Zeus. We have One Punch Man, the rank Numeron monster. We have Hope Harbinger. These two kind of go interchangeable sometimes. We have Pain Gainer, Draglubian, and Xenophon. Xenophon's really good this format, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it would come up. It came up like a few times. Like I made it against the Phantom Knight player because like I was wanting to make Dingirsu to protect my TC-Boo, but then when you have TC-Boo up, you can't use Gizmek to make Dingirsu. It's a little annoying, actually. So I just went for Xenophon. Say, okay, if you can out the TC-Boo, at least you won't be special summoning from the graveyard on your turn. So
I'm surprised. This one's a rock, not a machine.
It's a rock, yeah. So it's like you can make another TC-Boo with anything. So it's nice.
And then you have a pair of nightmares. Okay. Well, you're not running anything that would eat up your extra deck. In fact, this deck does seem, aside from the alpha, this is really budget.
It is pretty budget. And alpha's, what is it, like 20, 30, something like that? Not too bad.
Not too bad. Definitely not too bad. Like even like if you include your entire extra deck and your side deck.
Oh, Zeus is the other the heavy hitter.
Fine, but like you don't really need Zeus.
You don't need it, but you
want it.
You kind of want it. You definitely want it.
But you can be budget. Okay. So side deck wise, Triple D Shifter. Good call.
Yeah, it was pretty good. So I really don't like main decking this card. I really hate it actually. Even though it might have been good for this event because everything was meta. It's just like this card is so good and so bad at the same time. If it's good, it's like lights out, and if it's bad, it's really bad. And so like it's like I just wanted to make sure I was doing it at the right times. Like I would try to read my opponent because like sometimes I didn't know if they're gonna make me go first or second. Like this card's not horrible going first either. You can just use it. But it was fine. I mean, there was some times where it was definitely bad. But I did get quite a good mileage out of it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Next, 1 additional Eater of Millions. Okay. Just amp up the number.
Yeah, so there's a few reasons for this. One, in the main deck, I wanted to keep it at 40. And so Eater was the card that's like not the greatest in the meta.
Yep.
Although Eater is very good against Shuttle in some decks. So if it's a deck I see that it's good against, I'll play it. Also, I think if I side in the D-Shifters, I probably want to bring in the Eater. Because the problem with D-Shifter in this deck, and why it's a little bit weaker, is that if I D-Shifter right away, my opponent can just pass. And it's actually, like, it's harder for this deck to OTK than the Castle version, because a lot of my monsters, Alpha and all the Kaijus and the Slumbers, so 12 cards in the deck, rely on my opponent having a monster. So it's actually a little bit harder to OTK, whereas the Castle version, I get a Hextrude out, boom, Triclubian, you're done.
Yeah.
You know? But in this version, if I Shifter, sometimes I can't kill my opponent, which is a little awkward. Okay. And so if you bring in the Eater, you have a higher chance of you open Eater Gren, I mean, that's game, basically, right? So, like, I think that's probably good strategies when you bring in the Shifters, and you think you're going to go second, bring in the Eater 2, so that if you stop your opponent, you just Eater Gren, run them over.
All right. That makes sense. I like the logic that you're giving me. I think it definitely validates it. Then we have Duster. Duster's Duster. These two are the same card, more or less. Just to wipe back row. Give a free opening. Oh, just makes it a little easier. Triple summon limit and triple TC boo. So wow, you're playing that sub-terror lineup of floodgates. But I guess it makes sense for you for TC boo because you have like all different types, and summon limit, you really only need to summon twice to kill someone.
Yeah, well, like you can, so you're summoning monsters that have lots of attack points, and your opponents are summoning monsters that are trying to summon other monsters. Yeah. Right? And so, like, even if I can't do the most impressive thing, I go Luna, summon a Gizmek. Like, that beats over every monster that you could summon in 2 summons, right? And, like,
that's right.
Eater Gren, 2 summons, boom. Like, it's like you can Gizmek on end phase, so you actually get three summons out of everything. And so
your summon range is much shorter to get to your end goal compared to like Combo's summon range to get to their end board.
It turns Yu-Gi-Oh into a big beater game, basically, and I'm gonna win. If we're gonna compare attack points on our monsters in the main deck, I'm gonna win. So
it's rock paper scissors.
It's like a stat check.
It's a rock paper scissors game, except that there's only rock, and you have the bigger rock.
Exactly.
And then triple twin twisters. All right, I guess you have discard costs that you don't mind actually paying for because it's not really a cost. If you play trade-in, trade-in, you can play twin twister. You don't really need to play cosmic.
It was either this. I wanted to play cosmic because of Shadul Schism, but then because I think I wanted to also play evenly, but then I wanted my battle phase. Lightning Storm seemed a little suboptimal. Due to all the these decks that are sitting like one trap and like they want it in the graveyard or and it's also not very good if you're forced to go first, that sort of thing. And so twin, like you said, I can pay the discard cost really easily in this deck. So there's a lot of times you have like an extra Luna in your hand, random D-Shifter, card you don't need, dead trade in, discard a Slumber so that you can banish it for a Kaiju next turn. Discard a Danger, you get the pop still. So like there's a lot of stuff to discard, and it's the most flexible out of all those options, so I went with that. Okay. And it worked out well.
All right. Well, we'll look forward to seeing you play. I don't know what deck you're going to play in the upcoming Invitational, but still wish you best of luck. Oh, there's one more secret tech, guys, that you guys don't know. The secret tech is that you have to go to Yishan's channel and check out his follow-up video where he talked about his journey of getting to the top 8. That's a secret tech. You guys go there right now. Hit subscribe. I'll wait for you guys to come back. Don't worry, I'm still here. I mean,
we'll be here.
He's like, if there's anyone to listen to right now, if you guys want like max value on like and learn something, win a couple extra games from the information you get, Yishan's probably the guy that you can talk to because he's really good and he's choosing to win the cool way. You get cool points too from me and from him. Style points for sure, 100%. Yeah, but thank you so much, Yishan, for coming on to showcase your Gren Maju deck updated for 2021.
Yes, new ban list, all the keywords. We're hitting all the keywords.
Yeah, we're hitting all the keywords. The algorithm will pick this up. You guys will check it out. And we'll put in one card in the title. Luna Gren Maju? ? I don't know. But thank you guys for watching, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, smash a thumbs up button. You don't have to smash it. You can gently click it too. I'm okay with that. And subscribe, ding the notification bell. And go check out Yishan's channel. Please do it for me. Write in the comments MST.TV sent you here. Like, he deserves it, guys. You're getting up there. You're getting up there. Lots of value.
You know, it's been fun. It's been a fun experience making YouTube videos. I've enjoyed it, and Tom Box has certainly helped me quite a bit. So I do appreciate it.
No, I'm trying. I'm getting something out of this too. So I'm getting a lot of information, learning how to beat your deck, stuff like that.
Yes.
And you've inspired me to play a rogue deck rather than play meta. I went in with ABC, and I've actually learned. Like you said, I didn't drop out of the event. Ralph Lee, you're lucky that I didn't drop out of the event for your tie breaks, because you got top 8 as the only X2, and I don't know. You probably had pretty good tie breaks too, but I didn't drop, so maybe that helped out a little bit. But I played ABC and I learned so much. Like, this is one of the advice you gave. I learned so much of how to fix the deck. I'll give you guys an update on what to fix for the current meta if you want to play ABCs, and what are some techs that don't work. And I'll give you guys that analysis breakdown next time. But for now, check out Yishan's channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!